tell you this today. There is no way you would realize who we truly are, genuinely, as people of African descent, and you wouldn't be proud about our existence as humans or as a race collectively. It is important as human beings to experience every single part of your life. I am a very great advocate of traveling. I am recommending now to every single youth across the African continent, every single Black descent around the world. You need to see the world. Go find knowledge, go find network, go find access and every other thing in between. The statistics, you see the child population index in the world, Nigeria stands at number 3. When it comes to the youth population in the world, Africa is top on the index. Professor PLO Lumumba said, the day Nigeria wakes up, Africa would never remain the same.
Hello my people, welcome to another banging episode. It is the MTN Career Series, and today I am very excited for who I will be speaking to. When I saw him first, I was a bit nervous. I'm like, his height was really intimidating me. But he's one person that when you want to talk about youth empowerment, you want to talk about the African culture, you want to talk about somebody putting Africa on the map, you definitely have to mention Mubarak Bakare. And he is my guest right here on the show. One of the tallest, or if I'm correct, the tallest model in Sub-Saharan Africa. He's sitting right here next to me. Welcome. How are you doing, Mr. Bakare?
Thank you very much. I'm very well.
How does it feel to be this tall?
It's one of the greatest feelings in the world.
Because I know you're closer to God.
Absolutely, and then people would come and ask me, what does the future hold? Can you look at the future and tell me what it holds? I tell them it's bright, don't worry about it.
What is its advantages?
Well, so for me, I like to see the advantages. I'm a very staunch optimist, so I look away from the disadvantages, I don't get to. So if someone pours me pepper now, I can't go and get a shirt in the next boutique. It has to be custom made. So ultimately, while I was in school, I need to tell you this one. I have this senior, he probably would be listening. I wouldn't say his name. I keep it confidential.
Yeah.
He would tell me not to ever be taller than he is when he's talking to me.
So you go down.
And I have to condescend. And it will tell me again not to be shorter than he is. I have to level up, literally.
I love that senior. That's something I can do. But anyway, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you here. Thank you so much to have me. We're really excited. But before I even go on, first of all, congratulations, because I know that we're just inducted among the top global 100 under 40 most influential people, if I'm correct, in Africa. How does that make you feel? Like, big congratulations as well.
Thank you very much. Of African descent, actually. It's a really humbling moment, or it was a really humbling moment for me, because for me, I was just doing my thing. I was just doing what I believe in, and one of my beliefs is that as Africans, it's fine for us to be scattered around the world, even though there has been deliberate effort to keep fragmenting us, but it's unacceptable for us to be disconnected. So I've been a very critical, very radical believer and then propagator, and I would say advocate of a connected Africa, connected or interconnected global Africa. So I have a global African growth progressive approach, to things that I do. So I preach that every single African on the African continent and then outside of the African continent, we must now more than ever begin to collaborate, begin to integrate, begin to connect, and do everything together. That's one of the ways out of our fiascos.
Just reading about you, doing my research about you. In Nigeria, they'll tell you that you carry Africa for your head. I know that you're very passionate about Africans, and most importantly, you are very passionate about the African youths as well, because you've done a lot of things to bring them together, which we'll talk about, on the show. But where did the passion come for you? The passion to love Africa? I know that we're all Africans and we love Africa, but your passion and your drive is just overboard.
So, the stereotype of every tall Black boy must play basketball. I was almost dancing to that tune at some point in time. God bless my brother. My elder brother paid for my basketball training. I had a coach who was teaching me how to play in my third year in school. And at some point in time, I started having a mind of my own, and I reflected a lot. Like they say, man, know thyself. I thought it was important for me to know myself as an individual entity. And then from an holistic standpoint as people of African descent, and I started focusing on learning who we are, and I thought to myself that I needed to be impact oriented. I needed to make a difference. I needed not to make everything about my height. People are always so fascinated about what I look like. It's I see myself as
but
a
not
very.
to cut you short, what did your parents? What did they want you to be? Like, what did they have in mind?
So to be honest with you, my parents are very pretty interesting parents. Not very very typical. In the sense that they give you some level of liberty. To decide what you want to do. It's you, at the end of the day. But then I wanted to be an accountant. So I literally studied accounting in school. My parents supported me. Everybody supported me to be an accountant. My parents spent a lot of money sending me to a private university. But then, like I was saying, I thought it was very important to know myself. Who am I? Who are we as people of African descent? And I started learning. And I thought it was important to not... at that point in time, I realized it was stereotypic, to think every tall black boy or every tall boy should play basketball.
Go into sport or football or something.
I thought to myself that I could be great, I could be iconic, I could be legendary without having to necessarily play basketball, and I started pursuing that. But for me, I've been very impact oriented. So I wanted to be impactful beyond what I look like. I do not want people to only know me for what I look like. For me,
he keeps saying what he looks like. I'm like, you really get a lot of compliments, yeah?
Hold on. Trust me, if I would get $1 for every compliment,
you is proud. Now you're proud.
So, and that was how it started. In a nutshell, knowing who I am as a person, as an individual. And then it extends to knowing who we are as people of African descent. And then I tell you this today, there is no way you would realize who we truly are, genuinely, as people of African descent, and you wouldn't be proud about our existence as humans or as a race collectively. So, and that's how it started, in a nutshell.
Well, how would you say it has been like, how's the journey? How would you describe the journey, for you?
In one word, I'd say bittersweet. It's been very, both ways. It's, just the same way the lifeline, is zigzag. Yeah. That's pretty much what life is about. And I think we need to let ourselves experience every single part of it, the details, I could remember just a couple of weeks ago, I was feeling headache, and I was tired. I was pretty tired. It's been, I got back from the United States. I was jet lagged, but I swinged into action immediately because I had a project I needed to deliver on. And then a friend said to me, would you want to take coffee to, just to kind of induce, to not make me sleep? I said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to experience it. I have to, a lot of people, and this in a nutshell, literally constitutes a reason why people use drugs, young people trying to escape reality. But in essence, it is important as human beings to experience every single part of your life. It's not a bad thing that you're feeling sad. You are not sad. You are only feeling sad. And it's fine to not feel the same way you feel every single day. Every day is not Christmas, like they say. So it's fine for you to be down. It's fine for you to be, whatever you call it, depressed or whatever it is you want to call it. But you just have to not stay there for so long. There's a saying that is so interesting and resonates with me a lot. they say people who's got wisdom, people who are very smart or wise people think stupid things too. They just don't act on them or say them. You see? So it's fine for you to think a certain way, to feel a type of way. So ultimately, it's been this year, for example, has been a very long one for me. You know, I've done about 6 countries so far. I started off in Ghana, you know, to Unity into the new year. I went for the Vodun Festival. You know, it's been a very long one, but very productive, very, shall I say, potentially productive as well. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll keep it that way.
But definitely, I know that in as much as you want to experience everything, you want to feel everything, there will definitely be some ups and downs and some challenges that, you know, some days you wake up and like, this Africa thing, even, do I want to continue with it? You know, I want you to like go deep and tell me what are some of those challenges.
So for me, I think one of the biggest challenges, I had to sit again, you know, I had to.
You have to sit again, and that's
I had
what
to sit properly. One of the challenges of people of African descent is the fact that we have been conquered where it matters the most, the mind, you know. And there's been continuous effort every single day, you know. Look at, if you reflect on imperialism, you reflect on colonialism, you reflect on, in fact, now neo-colonialism, you know, you reflect on a transatlantic slave era and what have you. But that wasn't where we all started from. That wasn't where it started from as Africans. That was not where we start from. You know, we were Africans first before we became any other thing else, before we were programmed, before we were bamboozled, before we were indoctrinated, you know, before people were enthralled. So I think the people's mind, you know, I've seen people who say to me, Mubarak, oh, you travel, why, stay back. I'll never come back if it was me. You know, it's part of the mindset. And I think that's one of the greatest challenges. And for me, I always say that the ultimate way to solve that problem, you know, Nigerians, we like to cut the branches. You're trying to take out a tree and you're cutting the branches. It doesn't make sense. You have to uproot it. You have to go to the grassroots of, you know, to the root of the problem. So ultimately, I think one of the ways, one of the solutions is education. And when I mean education, I do not mean the conventional Western education system, because that in itself has literally been fashioned in a way to enthrall people, to enslave people. And I'll give you an instance. Now, when you look at the educational system, when you look at an infant, you know, that's growing up, at that age, they're rebellious. They're very explorative. They want to see things happen. They want to know what's in here. You know, they want to know, why is this thing smelling like that? They're so curious. They're so creative. And that's why when you see a lot of people, they say, oh, at some point in time, I used to draw, but now where's that talent? It's gone. Guess what they do? The exact opposite of what you should be as a kid. They tell you to sit a certain way with a table and face front and say as I say, do as I say. So ultimately, they take out that creative part. So ultimately, when you go back to the etymology of the so-called Western education, John D. Rockefeller had said that I do not want a community of thinkers. I don't want a community or a society of thinkers. I want a community or a society of walkers. So they just want to give you instructions. You know, we have been built to serve and not built to build, unfortunately. Yeah. So I think the mind is one of the most important things. And that is why a lot of people complain about the African leaders. They do not understand that we've got great leaders. We have had very great leaders, but they were killed. They were called names. You know, there's a system or there's a strategy of name calling. That's where they start. So when a leader decides to be progressive today, they begin to call him names first. They say he's a tyrant. They say he's a dictator. That sounds familiar, right? Say he's a dictator, he's a tyrant.
Same thing they did to Rollins, actually.
Literally. So ultimately, it's important for us. You know the funny thing, when they begin to call him these names and then begin to orchestrate his personality and make him seem bad to his people, they probably even take the charge to kill him. They take the lead. They get saddled with that responsibility to get him out of the way themselves. Because the mindset.
You know, but when you were speaking, you mentioned something. You said people will be like, why are you coming back home when you can just stay there? And that brings me to Jackpot as well. You know, we know that now talent is really global. Correct. You know, what do you think, or what would you say, you know, a lot of young people, especially Nigerians or Africans as well, you know, can do to up their skill to get like international platforms, like jobs internationally? Like, what are some of those things you think? And also, I want to know, what's your take on Jackpot as someone that is very big on the African culture?
So first things first, I'll start by laying a foundation of this conversation, you know. And first things first, I'll advise. I am a very great advocate of traveling. I want to be a globetrotter myself. Okay. You know, if I'm not already, I honestly want to be a globetrotter. And I recommend, so trust me, at the time I was going to go to school, if you had said to me, this is an option for you to go to school, and here's an option for you to travel the world, I'll literally travel the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I am recommending now to every single youth across the African continent, every single black descent around the world, you need to see the world. It's important for you to see the world. I recommend that. Travel, see the world, go find knowledge, go find network, go find access and every other thing in between, right? Have a fair share of what the world holds. This is not where it ends. You know, there's a whole lot of fantastic people around the world, great places, fantastic landscape, you know. You need to see the world. But I draw the line at a certain point in time where people leave their nation or leave the motherland, I beg your pardon, never to come back. I'll say that again. I draw the line where people leave the motherland with the intentions never to come back. That doesn't make sense by any standard. It is important for us. It is our responsibility. We are saddled with the responsibility to build our nation. The nations you run into, they built their nation. Even though we built those nations, we paved the street. Our ancestors paved a lot of the streets, right? So it's important for you to understand that nobody's going to help you. The system is always going to be there to mitigate, or shall I say, to put some barricade, to put some limitations to what you could achieve elsewhere.
You know, so I'm not encouraging anyone to want to leave, but when you hear conversations, it's like the system is not helping as well. So I also want to like get your thought on that, because in as much as we want people to, you know, listen, be motivated, I also want us to like go grassroots and let people that this is how it is. You know, we can say, oh, beautiful, we'll stay, build the system and everything, but the system here as well.
Understandable. Yeah. But I'll ask a question, you know, in response. Does the nation build itself? No. By any chance? No. Human beings, we must build it. Now, the so-called leaders that we always call out, they are our sisters, our uncles, our nephew, our aunties. They didn't fall from heaven. I tell you what, you see a lot of people that castigate the system a lot. Look at them critically. They are really doing nothing in their personal capacities. So I'm not putting all of the entire responsibility on we as average citizens of the Federal Republic or of Nigeria alone, but I'm saying it is important for us to take charge by ourselves, for us to not keep taking power away from ourselves, you know, for us to not give out our power. We have some level of capacity. We must focus on what we could control. I don't know if I'm making some sense. It's important for us to focus on what we could control. There's a saying that if everybody will sweep the front of their house, if you would sweep the front of your household, the world will become a very neat place automatically. So if I came here probably almost 30 minutes before time, before the call time.
Yes.
I learned that from my father. My father is a very diligent person. I learned to be very diligent. So even on time is late for me. So I try to be diligent. If everybody would be diligent, if a nurse or a doctor that's supposed to be at the hospital by 8 a.m. in the morning gets there, and as an emergency patient who is supposed to not leave in the next 10 minutes, is going to be able to attend to that patient. But guess what? What happens when the doctor comes late? So we need to, you see, they say the slightest sometimes leads to the greatest. You know, the little things, the little details. You know, I was in a vehicle, in a cab one time, a couple weeks ago, and the driver said, there's scarcity. I went to buy fuel and they were asking me to pay 1,000 naira.
Yeah, for the...
Guess what?
Yeah.
He refused to pay, which is the right thing. Now, the people behind him were insulting him. Instead of you to join him and say, no, nobody pays 1,000 naira extra here. And then be firm. Yeah. Guess what? Unfortunately or fortunately, he didn't pay because he demanded to see their manager or to talk to the management. If they instructed them to take 1,000 naira from everybody before they sell fuel for them, right? And guess what? Lo and behold, he didn't pay because he felt, this is a wild person, or let's leave him to go. Let the management not hear about this atrocity we're committing. Guess what? The moment he left, other people started paying. The person behind him paid.
So it basically starts with us.
Exactly. So imagine we all call him out. If the minister, if the local government chairman or the councillor of a ward is not doing right, we should call him out. We should all call him out. It doesn't even have to be a councillor. It could be a principal of a school, of an elementary school. Call him the heck out. Pardon my French. Call him out. You see? Or you see someone picking some other person's pocket, instead of laughing and say, call them out.
So there was this saying, I was reading something, and they were like, Africans will blame everybody but not themselves.
Exactly.
And this just takes me to the fact of what you're saying. Like, it just stamps it like, we can make it better. And it starts with us rather than...
And we need to focus on our... You see, we have been made to think... You see, what you expect from a race that's been told that they're not enough. So it's important to reinvent ourselves, to completely decolonize ourselves. We were all colonized, you know, that's why we speak the Queen's English. Not English, you know. I was having a conversation with my friend and she was pointing out the emphasis on my age. I said, listen, I'm not an Englishman. I'm an African man, original. So, you know, call a British person and let them, I dare them to speak my Yoruba the way I speak it. This is such a beautiful conversation that I feel very proud to be an African, actually. Right.
But this takes me to what you've been doing for young people. I know that in 2003, you empowered over 30,000, if I'm correct, 30,000 youths. Was it million or 1,000 youths?
1,000 actually.
1,000.
This was last year.
That was last year, even.
Yeah.
When you take me through that, you know, through that empowerment for youths that you've been doing. But I also know that in 2003, you did something really remarkable as well for yourself and for African youths as well. How has it been like trying to put the youths on the right path?
Right. You see, for me, I think I used to say a certain saying, but I don't say it anymore. I try to be diplomatic. I say that it is not all right for us to have two messed up generations. You know, it's important that and you know what? This is interesting. The statistics. You see, the child population index in the world, Nigeria stands at number 3. Third, when I mean child population, I mean age 0 to 11. And when it comes to the youth population in the world, Africa is top on the index. And guess what? Nigeria sits on the pinnacle, or at the pinnacle. So ultimately, what does that mean? It means we have more youthful population. So we need to orient, we need to keep real, I'm trying to find the right word. Yes, we need to keep up with that for our youths. We need to empower them with the right informations. That's where it starts. Like I said, education, not the one you get from the four walls of a classroom, And going back to while I was a little younger, like I said to you, I never wanted everything to revolve around what I look like. So I'd always wanted to be impactful. And for me, it was a dream come true. Like you rightly pointed out, I was able to speak to a little over 30,000 young people, across the
huge,
continent and beyond. And ultimately, it was pretty much the subject matters was around cultural identity, self-awareness, development, self-development, self-help. Ultimately, we must wake up. Like they say, we're the African giants that's not woken up from our slumber. So the day Professor PLO Lumumba said, the day Nigerian wakes up, Africa would never remain the same. And I think it's a global African thing. It's not just the continent alone. The day Nigerians are everywhere in the world. There's a saying that there's a statistics, that says that in the next couple years, there would now be, I think, 8 amongst 10 people in the world or anywhere would probably be someone from the African continent. So it's important for us to begin to learn so that it translates. Let's not just that we love facade, we love success on camera, and we scratch the surface. We're fine with an average African just want to build a house and he's fine, and if he's lucky enough he has 2 more and it feels like he's on top of the world. It's godlike, and he wants to have a vehicle. And in my dialect they say, when you buy a vehicle they say, I don't know what pardon my French. But
we pardon it. But what does that mean in English?
So when they say "Onlatiwe," you have to celebrate it for us.
Okay,
you bought a vehicle to commute, to move from a place to another.
But maybe it's a type of vehicle.
And then, who cares? It's not a yardstick for success. That's how we see it. We've been made to feel that the moment you wear a shoe, you wear Christian Louboutin shoe, or you wear a Zanotti, or you wear Gucci or Bottega, you're the man. Doesn't make sense to me.
But define success for you. What would you say?
I think it is very relative.
Okay, for you, that's what I'm saying. For you, what
for
would you
me,
describe as successful?
That's an interesting question.
I want to know.
For me, I think that makes me think pretty critically. For me, I'd say that success is. Now you're making me reflect on my purpose right now, and I'll tell you what my purpose is. My purpose in life as a human is to pretty much be a part of the force that actually leads a global African renaissance. So what I would love to see, what I would regard as a success, is to see that upward slope or that upward move of a collectively liberated global African. From every standpoint, from the business sector to the creative sector, every sector. That for me is what I see. It has to be communal. We were really communal as people of African descent. But they came to bamboozle us and tell us, and then we think, and there's a saying in my dialect, I'm sorry I'm saying, but I have to emphasize some of the sayings that I feel I do not reckon with. There's a saying in my dialect that says, "Bamu bamu ni moyo emi o mokwe bin pomo eni kokon." What that means is that I am filled up. I am, I'm probably even overfed. Yeah. I don't care if any other person is hungry. That doesn't make sense. We have to be communal. It doesn't have to be when you have a house or a mansion and then you have a Maserati or you have a Tesla or a Cybertruck or you have a Ferrari or you have a Bugatti and that's it. That's the end of or because you fly private. Nah, that's not the end of stuff. That's easier to achieve.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's important for us to see our nation grow. I mean, true growth and not facade. You get what I mean? True growth. And I'll use the music industry as an example. Music is one of the greatest export out of the African continent. But guess what? You ask yourself a very critical question. Does it completely translate? I mean, the success. The streaming platforms. We don't have a Nigerian streaming platform. We don't. We convert, we stream. But does it convert? The biggest shows across the world are not here on the continent. We need to build that. And then guess what? This is a shade to my brothers, the creative who are making us proud across the world. When they make the money, where do they blow it?
True.
Go to New York and go to Ibiza and go to Paris and go to Maldives and
And recently something happened as well. I'm definitely not going to call the name of the person, but whatsoever you guys would understand. He took an award show from Nigeria, outside Nigeria. And that was like really shocking for me as well. Like, what is happening to us? Like, that was the only thing that we could say that this is our own, like this is our thing. Being somebody that loves Africa, so we're not shading anybody, but like being somebody that you've mentioned music as well. For me, I'll say that our musicians, they try because they're able to put Africa on the global stage. But then again, you're correct, because what do they do after they make the money? Recently as well, shout out to Paulo, One Africa, he was speaking about the fact that they have priced themselves out of the market because right now, Nigerian promoters cannot even pay them to perform. So that's why I see most of them going to perform outside and all of that. But just to note on what happened, taking something that is our heritage, taking something that is our own, like one of our biggest, something scheme, I'm not going to mention, out to another. What was the idea behind that?
So I'm going to be very honest about this. And this is my very honest opinion about this. This is a business endeavor. We shouldn't forget. So I wouldn't be too sentimental about it. As a businessman, I'm a businessman myself. I would pretty much want to do what is best for my business. So I feel that this person in question probably did what's best for their business because it's strictly a business endeavor, in my opinion. Yeah.
But what about the love for the country?
I agree with you. But do you think it's everybody who loves Nigeria? I've seen people on social media, a shit ton of people. They go on social media and say, Nigeria, the harm you've done is enough. I'm going never to come back. So, yeah.
Wow. It's just it's something else.
Yeah.
But now I want to talk about, trade and commerce. The fact that you've been affiliated with you've traveled, Africa, outside Africa and everything. How do you think that, we can help the Nigerian trade and commerce?
One of my this is personal, one of my greatest solution is for us to bridge the gap. Now more than ever, we need to stop building walls. Rather, we should build bridges, across the African continent and extend it beyond. We need to do business with ourselves. We need to be, and I'll give you a very simple analysis. The person who made this fila gobi, that's what we call it in Yoruba, and it's actually usually made from ashoke. Ashoke is an indigenous and woven fabric. They're weavers who make them. That's their means of livelihood, right? So imagine the ripple effect if everybody in Nigeria would at least have one of this, for example, or the Abiriba cap, or you get my point. That would have a ripple effect. It would benefit the person who weaves, the weaver. It will benefit the tailor who tailors it. Now, imagine as a vendor, Nigeria is just the country, right? And then you have the liberty to get across to other 53 other nations on the continent. What does that do? It opens up your market, ultimately. Now you have a better market, right? Now your demand begin to get increasing. It keeps skyrocketing because now you have. So ultimately, what we need to do is to unite, collaborate, unify, integrate, just interconnect, do things together, pretty much.
And I'm going to take this to Ghana. So we have this, because I'm Ghanaian, we have this market.
Oh, interesting.
We have this market in Ghana. It's called
I met your president at
really?
in New York, actually, just a couple weeks ago.
Amazing. Shout out to President Akufo-Addo.
Correct.
But we have like this market in Ghana. It's called Art Center. And then they sell Ghanaian fabrics and everything. And I tell you, when you go to this market, you'll only see white people buying the things. And you need to see when a white woman is looking at the kente, she's like, oh my God, this. And it just one day made me realize that we don't even appreciate our own things.
We don't understand, Just the same way the people who made makeups will make you feel, they have to make you feel less of yourself without wearing it. And that's the only reason why you have to wear it. You see?
I wear makeup and I'm very beautiful with or without makeup. So
exactly. We are. Shout out to all women. Yeah. Beautiful.
No, but I get your point.
Beautiful women. Yeah. We've got very beautiful African women, regardless of makeup or not.
Yeah. But it just made me realize that we do not appreciate.
Yeah, we've been made not to.
Well. Like I don't know this couple. You've mentioned that it's a Nigerian.
The most precious things to us have been demonized. So what do you expect? In fact, we're scared of it. We're so disconnected. There's been years and years, hundreds of thousands of years of development, of progressiveness, of knowledge. So much so that people would ask, they were so connected and in tune with nature, with their immediate environment. They knew when it was going to rain. These were very advanced knowledge, right? But guess what? To take them away or to whitewash them or to calibrate the history, they made you feel less of who you are. Guess what? Do you know the most valuable mineral in the world currently? The melanin in your skin. It's pretty expensive, and that our skin has the highest pigmentation of all skins in the world. So your embodiment as a human, as a person of African descent, is very valuable in the first place.
Man, I feel proud to be African. You need to clap. You need to clap. Yeah. You need to clap. If you're an African out there and you're watching this, you need to be really, really proud to be either a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, wherever you are from. I cannot let you go without talking about modeling. How's the modeling world treating you? Because I know that you've done works with a lot of international brands, New York, London, name it. I can go on and on. But how's that life treating you?
It's interesting. There's a saying that modeling is a cutthroat industry. But then, for me, modeling is not the ultimate. It was a deployment strategy for me to position for global impact. Some more. It's interesting in a nutshell, but then it's not the ultimate for me.
But I know you will have made a lot of money with modeling because of your height.
Well, maybe not as much as you think.
It's not.
Well, so.
But I know they're really rich models.
Modeling. So let's talk about our country as
Nigeria.
A case study, right?
In Nigeria,
I think the most lucrative type of modeling in Nigeria that I know of is the commercial modeling. So I've been in a number of commercials. I find it more interesting,
than runway.
Than runway, because a lot of times I'm way too tall. I'm taller than a mannequin. So ultimately, a designer doesn't want to spend a lot of
True.
Yards of material to make a long piece,
to sew
and
your
it's just
clothes
meant
will
for
be so
me
expensive.
alone.
It will be so expensive to sew your clothes. But before
Yeah.
we even go into the game segment with
Correct.
you, I cannot wait for that. I want you to tell me, how do you think our educational system can impact, for us to understand ourselves better as Nigerians, understand our heritage, just like teaching them from young. Just quickly.
One sentence: we need to stop being westernized. We need to stop westernizing our education system. Right? You tell somebody about something, when you're reading, when you're saying A, B, and C, and D, and you're telling them words that are not, that they don't experience, that is not a reality they face. You tell them, we need to come back to a cultural based system. And what do I mean by that? What do we consume? What do we eat? The kind of music we listen to, the kind of dance, we have to be Afrocentric. We talk about the economy a lot, the meltdown, and we need to produce. We need to export our ewedu and our begiri and our idikaiko soup and our. We need to export these things.
True.
We shouldn't limit it to just the music alone. And thanks to God Almighty, the music industry on the African continent is a huge one right now.
And movies as well. So shout out to.
So people are not a stranger to us.
Yeah.
They hear the sound, they feel
Them they feel it.
No.
Amazing.
So we can now leverage on that. You see?
Yeah.
Our food, several things. The cuisine, the fashion, the everything. The world has drawn inspiration from the African continent, from the food to fashion to dance, every single thing. So it's important for us to produce. Yeah.
All right. Do you like games?
No.
What?
I love to watch people play games.
Okay, so you're about to play games. Don't go anywhere, guys. When we come back, we do the Mogul Monikers right here. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you stay with us because I can't wait to see him fail. I think he's going to fail a lot. But yeah, we'll be right back. This is MTN Career Series. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, you've actually missed a lot about your heritage, but not to worry, we got you covered. He's still right here with me, but we're about to play games. Mr. Bakare, are you really good with games once again?
I don't like games.
Okay, so now let me
But then
explain.
would you give me a gift or a prize?
If you get everything correct, there's something
is there a
special.
prize at stake?
No. So if you get everything correct, there's something special for you. I'm not going to tell you, but
That's
there's something,
hard.
There's something really special for you.
I'll try my
So
best.
this is the Mogul Monikers. I'm going to give you hints.
Mogul what?
Mogul Monikers.
Oh.
So I'm going to give you hints, and then you tell me like whether it's a person or a brand. But I'm going to give you a hint. So
Okay.
I have from number 1 to number 72. So you can pick from any number, and then I'll ask you the question.
I'll pick 72.
72. Why do a lot of people do that? I hope you get this because we spoke about the person on the show.
Let's try.
So, a Nigerian media mogul who founded one of the country's top urban TV channels, specializing in entertainment and lifestyle.
Could that be? I know the name.
We spoke about him on the show.
I literally met him a couple
really?
weeks ago. Yes.
So, who's the person?
Could he be Ayo Animation?
Oh, yeah, you did. Okay, so another number again.
Okay. 1.
Oh, number 1. Yeah. Okay. So he founded the most valuable company in Africa, known for its influence in the cement and sugar industry. Who is that Nigerian person?
That's Aliko Dangote.
If you fail this, I'm just going to get out of this set.
And it could also be Rabiu Boa.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Both,
That's true. Okay, so another number, your last number.
Pick 10.
You pick 10. What does 10 say? Okay, this seems hard. I like this.
Come on.
This media mogul founded a digital video sharing platform that became synonymous with online video content. Good, I got you.
Say it again.
Okay,
A video
let me go
platform.
again. This media mogul founded a digital video sharing platform that became synonymous with online video content.
Oh, wow. I'm going to guess. Could it be Auntie Moa Budu?
No.
Okay. I'll pass then. Thank you.
So where do you go to watch all your music videos and everything? When you go online, where do you go to?
Oh, can I try one more?
Get out, you know the answer already.
Now that hurts.
Who is the person?
Could it be Instablog?
You're wrong as well.
Oh, really?
Okay, when you want to watch music videos.
Videos?
Yes, you want to watch anything. They tell you, check that streaming platform. Go on.
So you know why I wouldn't know this?
Why?
I know why.
Why?
I don't really listen to songs a lot.
But not just songs, everything is there.
Oh, really?
Let me help
What
you,
could
so
it
I'll
be?
take out of the gift. Do you agree?
Let's share.
Okay.
I'm a businessman.
It's YouTube.
I'll give you.
It's YouTube.
Oh, really? Is it a Nigerian?
No, I didn't say Nigerian. I said this media mogul founded a digital video sharing platform that became synonymous with online video content.
I thought this is Afrocentric. Come on, man.
This guy is smart.
Oh, well, I take
But
the
anyway,
compliment.
two there, you missed one. All right. Now, this is our pictorial games.
Interesting.
So you look at all of this. This is an apple, light, and then a phone. What is it?
Idea. Steve Jobs.
Okay, nice one. You got it.
Okay, so
All right.
are you talking about the founder now?
No, so it can be the founder or
Going
what's that, if
forward.
you put them
I
together.
don't want to miss anything else. I cannot accommodate more than 10% to share with you.
This is
I want
difficult.
80%
I
of my
never,
prize.
I could never even get this, but try. So this is a bank, money, and a call.
Bank, money,
Bank, cash, and a phone. Sorry, bank, cash, and a phone.
and a phone.
So bank, cash, but everything is in the phone.
Like a mobile app.
No, fintech. But these ones are quite difficult, actually.
Same.
My producer does not like you.
Well, I'm learning.
So you thought I was done, but I'm not done. So we have the acronyms in 30 seconds. So you need to get all the acronyms in 30 seconds. And
That's
then-
too quick.
It's too quick. You're intelligent.
But let's do it. Let's try.
Should we go?
Let's try.
Okay. So B2B,
Business to business.
B2C,
Business to consumer.
KPI,
KPI. Know your customer.
AI,
No, wait. KPI.
AI,
Oh, AI. Artificial intelligence.
VR,
Virtual reality.
IoT,
IoT.
UI,
Oh, come on. UI.
UX, CAC.
Company. Shit. That was too quick.
No, but it was 30 seconds, but you still did
My
well.
brain was
No,
processing.
I'm like, it's been amazing having you on the show.
Likewise,
Thanks for teaching
yeah.
us about the culture, and I'm sure a lot of people will be very, very motivated and also, learn something about their heritage. But I cannot let you go without just looking straight into your camera and just, influencing people. Just tell them the culture is amazing. We need to embrace it more, and then it starts with us. It starts with our mind as well. So I'm just going to give you your floor to just do that.
Well, I wouldn't tell them it's amazing. I'm just going to tell them to do the assignment. It's just like I tell you, I'm the richest man in Africa. You should do your fact check, do your due diligence. So you need to do your due diligence on who you are. It's very shameful, that I'll meet people and ask them, what's your name? My name is X, and I say, what's the meaning of your name? Because I'm always curious when I hear very interesting African names. What is your name? What does that mean? I don't know. And they very nonchalant about it. That's so shameful. It's so shameful. I'm not going to even cut you any slack. You should cry if you don't know the meaning of your name at 30 years of age, or it's shameful. You need to find out. Go and meet your grandfather. If you don't have one, go talk to your uncle.
I like the violence.
Find out. So ultimately, my dear brothers and sisters, people of African descent, find out who you are. Know thyself. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. That was a very fantastic, conversation that we've had here. You know how we do it. We only speak to change makers. And once again, I must tell you, thank you, because you've reformed my mind. And, I had a positive mind about Africa, but now it's top notch. So thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate
really
it.
do appreciate. This has been MTN Career Series, but not to worry. Next week, we're back with another banging episode. Do have a beautiful yellow day.